In this mid-season finale, Kyle decides to pull a stunt. We find out there's more to Veronica's new maid, Lindsay, and Benny makes a discovery. Let's talk about the haves and the have-nots. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to KRSTV. This is your boy Kenny. Now remember, subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you can get notifications every time I drop a video. Also, follow all the information I have in the description box. Also, like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. Now, this is my review for the Haves and the Have-Nots Season 8, Episode 10. And the name of this episode is Bananas Foster. And this is the mid-season finale. I deeply apologize that this review is late, but due to the outbreak of COVID-19, I decided to take some time off, but I will be doing more, reviews, as well as, be on the lookout, for new videos to come. But this episode picks up where it left off. Wyatt has slit his wrist. Him and Catherine have this very, heartfelt moment. Catherine is calling for the guards, but this is during the shift of the guards, so no guard is available at that moment. So she is really calling for Wyatt to, stop the bleeding. But Wyatt really reveals how much of a tragic figure he is. And he talks about when he was 7 years old, he talks about how she used to make him Bananas Foster. And, and then, he starts going into the fact that, they were so good, and I came home from boarding school, I wanted you to make me one, and all you did is started yelling at me, and I, felt that you were sick of me, and, and you were mad about something that Dad made you do, and all of this. And I think this all had to deal with, his, affair that he was having with Celine. And he said that was the very same day that the priest molested him. And he was saying that all I wanted you to do was to hug me. And the next thing you know, he passes out and he bleeds out, and we see Catherine breaks down screaming for Wyatt and the guards, and no one hears her cries. So from the look of this, I think, as far as Wyatt's storyline, I think this could be the end for Wyatt Cryer. But with Tyler Perry, you never know. So we just have to keep, we just have to stay tuned for when the show comes back to see whether Wyatt makes it or not. But from the blood that was coming out, I think Wyatt's a goner. So then we get a scene at the hospital between Jim and Akil. Jim tells Akil he's going to give him another chance. He wants him to kill Veronica Harrington and make it look like an accident, aka domestic terrorism. And then after that, Jim gets a call from Kyle, and he says that, I talked to David and he wanted me to talk to you. And they talk about their little arrangement that they had, because he gave him information for Candace. He wants the Attorney General to make the whole case against Catherine go away. And he pretty much, he was saying that, this favor you did for Candace doesn't pay this kind of debt. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gave me some information about her, but you're telling me to kill or murder, and it's already taken a life on its own, as we have seen. But Jim reassures Kyle that he can be very helpful to him. So after he gets off the phone with Jim, we see that Scott's there. Scott and Kyle go back and forth. And Scott pretty much tells Kyle that you need to be careful when it comes down to Jim Cryer. He's definitely somebody that you need to watch. And then Scott's old messy ass decides to throw a bone to say that someone is behind this Candace expose. And Kyle was like, and I think you know who it is. And Scott says, no, he doesn't. of course he knows. I mean, it's Landon who's spinning the situation. But here it is, Scott with his messy ass kind of throws this bone at Kyle, but then tells Kyle he doesn't know. When yet, Kyle is kind of looking at this motherfucker like, dude, with your expertise, you know everything. So we saw that go on. Then we get a scene with Benny. Benny is driving up with this brand new tow truck, because he done got all this money, from the bank, now that Candace has given him $1 million. He's really excited, and he pretty much told Mitch that he bought 2 and that they can get back to Benny's towing and all of that. Then they go back and forth, and then Candace pulls up in a brand new truck, and she throws the keys to Mitch. And Benny's old stupid ass has the nerve to feel some kind of way like, why you giving him? He ain't do nothing. Motherfucker, he just called in a favor with his family to save your damn life. If it wasn't for the Malones, you'll still be handcuffed to that damn chair with the Kill's ass. Stupid bastard. And it just goes to show how much of a selfish idiot that Benny is. And also the fact that, it's obvious that Candace and Mitch, they've been having a liaison with each other for years. And it's been right under Benny's nose. But in all honesty, I think that's the true love story. Mitch is in love with Candace, and Candace is in love with Mitch. But due to his family and due to her situation, they can't openly be together. But when we see the two of them together, he is willing to do any and everything for Candace. So he thanks Candace for the truck and everything. They go inside, and Mitch is talking about his new truck, and Benny's talking about his new tow truck, and they are just gleaming. And Hannah's ass is sitting in the corner and overhears everything and decides to confront the both of them in regards to the situation. And Hannah does not she leaves no stone unturned. She immediately goes in and is like, oh, so this is what you're going to do? Instead of doing the right thing? No red bottoms, honey? Talking to Candace. And she was saying that I'm so sick of my kids not doing the right thing. Like, Candace, your brother was kidnapped. Your son was killed. And then, like, Hannah asked the question, like, what are you going to do when Jim comes for you? Candace says he won't. And she's like, how do you know that, huh? What you do, ghetto princess? I was like, oh, shit. Like, Hannah did not hold back. But Mitch, pretty much interjects and says that, look, my family can be very persuasive. He's not going to threaten your family again. But Hannah was like, he's coming. Because she had that conversation one-on-one with Catherine, and Catherine even said, you need to give Jim that damn money because you're going to get an enemy that you don't want. Because Jim is not going to take that lying down, even though Jim got threatened by the Malones. That's not going to stop Jim, because we know Jim to be this very arrogant, narcissistic, vengeful asshole. So he's not going to walk away. And Hannah knows this. And then, of course, Mitch continues to try to interject, and Hannah shuts him down, and then Benny tells her, look, Mom, I know you're upset, but you need to get over it. I got $1 million, and, Candace gave me $1 million, and I'm keeping every dime. And then she pretty much tells him that, okay, fine, leave. Get your shit and get out of here. And he was like, I figured you would say that. But, see, what I'm going to do now that I got this money, I'm going to buy me a little house. And when you calm down, you can come live with me. And she says, fool, I ain't come to live with you. I don't want to be a part of no gangster paradise. And he was like, well, it's better than being here with you freeloading. Oh, really? You had no problem being there all this time? Even after she put you out before you got stabbed up by Jim's henchmen, you stayed on the damn porch and didn't want to leave. Oh, but she's freeloading. What the hell you think you doing, huh? And if anything, she's not freeloading because Catherine Ben promised her that location, and if she would have taken it back then, it's a good possibility that little Quincy would still be alive. And they wouldn't have been at that rundown motel. But I said when Benny said that shit, that really set me off. I'm like, the nerve of this little snub, this little arrogant motherfucker. Like, seriously, bruh? Like, Benny is just toxic completely. You know, he ain't no different than Wyatt. Just cautionary no matter what they do. And he pretty much, and then Candace tells Hannah that, look, I couldn't pass up this opportunity because Candace knows that Hannah has power of attorney. So technically, it's not stealing because she has control of the money, which includes that $7 million. But Hannah ain't seeing it that way, and because her and Catherine had that conversation, she knows that Jim is not going to leave them alone. And she pretty much tells them, "Hey, look, both of y'all get the hell out of here, and if you come back, I'm gonna call the police and I'm gonna report that y'all stole that money." But due to the fact that you have power of attorney, technically, you know, that money is at your disposal, because you're the main decider as to what happens with any money or assets involving Catherine's estate. So then we get a scene with David and Jeffrey. You know, David tries to sneak in. Jeffrey calls him out. You know, there's still this awkward tension because, you know, David walked in on Jeffrey getting that white rabbit, you know, from Madison. And they patch things up. They apologize. And David says that, look, I was just shocked. I wasn't expecting that, you know. And, you know, Jeffrey was like, you mean to tell me you never seen this in college or anything like that? He's like, bruh, son, I grew up in a different time than you. You know, people kept that on the down low and kept that hidden, and they had to, you know, be something that they were not. I don't want the same for you. So we really see that there is true unconditional love between David and Jeffrey. But we all know that, you know, David is not Jeffrey's biological father. But at the end of the day, any fool with a penis can make a baby, but only a real man can raise a child. And David definitely raised Jeffrey. And they also discuss Madison, and David asks Jeffrey, so you really like Madison? And Jeffrey's like, well, we're still getting to know each other. He was like, but you guys were just screwing in the bedroom. And then Jeffrey reverted that back. Have you ever screwed somebody that you were still getting to know? I'm like, because you was tearing up Erica in the hotel room, on the stairwell, and even in the bathtub, and you didn't know diddly squat about her ass. So, yeah, David, he got your ass on that one. But he says that that him and Madison are gonna go out on a date, and then he tells him, I definitely like Madison better than that damn Justin. But I don't think Glenn Close is too far away, because due to the fact the last time she saw Jeffrey, she was putting it out there that, yeah, she about to do something. We just got to keep watching to see what Justin, aka Glenn Close, is going to do, and whether, you know, Jeffrey and Madison will survive it. So that was pretty much a good moment. And also he tells Jeffrey that security will be following him. They're following me as well, you know, due to the fact of the situation with your mother. I'm pretty sure she's gonna retaliate yet again. And then he asks Jeffrey, do you love your mother? And he was like, why would you ask me that? He was like, I just wanted to know. And like, you know, he kind of goes back and forth with his father, like, what are you up to? And Dave was like, look, it's nothing, you know, I just wanted to know. And then as soon as he's about to go upstairs, Jeffrey says, look, to answer your question, if something were to happen, I would understand. So Jeffrey is like, hey, if the bitch dies, she die. Because I'm pretty sure, yeah, because, you know, she has done nothing but put Jeffrey through hell. And she's been doing that from the very first season, you know, and Jeffrey's at this point where he's done with her trying to run his life. So then we go back to Kyle and Scott, you know. Kyle lets Scott know we got an issue. Conley West is going to become the new attorney general, and he's got like this, you know, he's got this vengeance about, you know, over Candace Young. And then Scott was like, why the hell would he care? She's just a whore and all of that. And, you know, Kyle starts to kind of put it together. It's like, nah, I think it's coming from Frederick, Charles, that I think he's in love with her, and then like Kyle says that shoot, men have fallen harder over a worthless piece of ass like that. And then Scott was like, yeah, you obviously did. And Kyle had the nerve to get mad. I'm like, he telling the truth? All this shit started all because she robbed you over a little of $1,000. And you have created this whole mess to try to use her to take down Charles. And now the public is sympathizing with her. It's now changing the narrative. And now that Conley came in there and told him that we're going to be looking at your investigation, we're going to be looking at your whole administration, so every I better be crossed. So every I need to be dotted and every T needs to be crossed, because if anything stands out, we're coming for that ass. And he's pretty much saying that, and he tells Scott, I need for you to investigate everything we've done in this administration by the book, because I don't need any open investigations, and but then he says, but the best thing is that we got to figure out a way to get rid of the evidence. And I knew immediately he was talking about Candace. So Kyle, with his arrogant, pompous ass, decides to put out a hit to kill Candace, and tell Scott, to clean it up and make it look like an accident, make it look like a suicide, and make sure it's on federal property. I'm like, by the end of this, Kyle's ass gonna be 6 feet under, and I'm so here for it because Kyle's a piece of shit. All of this started just because she robbed your ass. She didn't even know who the fuck you were. But then again, if she were to see you again, probably things will reconnect, because she did rob that ass down at the Artesian, and he been butthurt ever since. And now you created this whole big fucking mess, to take her down. And now you created a situation where your administration is they about to go through your, Charles's administration is about to go through your shit, and that they got some illegal shit going on, especially that whole situation with her. So he's like, let's just kill Candace and we can just kill the whole damn thing. But that shit's gonna backfire. So then at Veronica's house, Lindsay, the girl that she just hired, she's doing some cleaning or whatever. She tells Veronica tells Lindsay to go to pick up her dry cleaning and to take her car. And she's like, you want me to drive your car? And she's like, well, how else you going to get there? She's like, well, you think I'm going to let you take the bus? And then Lindsay was like, well, I could. She's like, oh, no, honey. You will not be taking my $5,000 clothing on a bus with cockroaches. I'm like, Veronica, you need to shut the hell up. Oh, my goodness. And then Veronica tells Lindsay, you're a sweet girl. And she's like, oh, yes, because, my mom has told me. She's like, oh, boo-boo, I don't care about your momonym, your homonyms, or your synonyms, boo-boo. I'm just telling you to just be better. And then there's a doorbell, and then there's a ring at the door. Tell me why this bitch, Veronica, goes to hide and has Lindsay answer the door. So we clearly see she's only hiring Lindsay as a replacement of her. So if there's a hit out on her, Lindsay will be the one to get it, and Veronica will spare her own life. But we can definitely see that Veronica is scared like shit, because she went to go hide, and Lindsay goes to answer the door, and it's Rodell. That's Andre Fuller's character. He comes in, him and Veronica have a conversation. He tells her that some foreign guy is putting a hit out on you, and you need to call us in to protect you, because it's really bad. And she's like, oh, there's no need to worry. I'm not worried about that. Everything's fine. Because in her mind, I already got this girl who I'm going to use as my decoy, so if anything happened, they going to fuck her up and I'm going to be left unscathed. So that's what's going on in her mind. So she's like, I'm not worried about that. But she says, what about that cute boy you brought back into my house? And Rodell's like, I don't know what you're talking about. He's like, look, I know we used to have our thing in the past, but hey, you can't be jealous if I want to mess with other men. You know how I am. But then he pretty much says that, look, I can handle it. I'll go see what I can do about that. And then he tells her that he's happy that they're back on good terms because she did pay for his brother's funeral and also did do a scholarship for his nephews or whatever. And then pretty much, he was, they kind of flirt back and forth. So Veronica is a whore. She has literally fucked every thug that she has represented. She done rolled around in the hay. And we kind of saw that the first time she started messing with Benny. That's her MO. Every person she represents, she ended up screwing. Nasty heifer. But then Rodell is like letting her know that, look, just let me know when you're ready for me to handle your husband. And I'm like, wow. So she's going to be using Rodell and his goons as a way of taking down, because, those are the same people she used that she used to shoot up the house. But they working on something else to take out David. But she says, I'll let you know when I'm ready to do that. And as soon as he leaves, she's like, smelling like weed and malt liquor. Like, girl, what is wrong with me? And then she starts calling Lucy, Lauren, Liver, whatever the hell your name is. I'm like, she was just doing entirely too much. So then we see Madison and Jeffrey on their little date. They flirting with each other, going back and forth. And Madison got his nose wide open because he wants some more of that golden chocolate egg. And Jeffrey knows it, but Jeffrey wants some more of that pink bunny rabbit. Because they were having Easter in that bed all by them damn selves. I mean, as I said, nobody knows Easter better than Cadbury. So they pretty much kind of flirt and go back and forth, and they decide to order. But I definitely think Justin, aka Glenn Close, is not that far away. Then we get a twist with Lindsay. We meet her and her boyfriend. They are con artists, and they're trying to rob Veronica. But little does Lindsay know, there's another game being played over her head. Because Veronica only hired you so you can be her scapegoat, because she knows there's a hit out on her ass, and she wants you to take the bullet. But Lindsay and her boyfriend go back and forth, and we can definitely see that her boyfriend definitely is a womanizer, but she feels some kind of way, about him flirting and all of that, because she even asked where was he ain't say nothing. So I'm like, yeah, the boyfriend out here slinging dick to any helpless woman who's in time of need and trouble. Boom. So, and then he pretty much tells her, I can do the pool boy thing, we both can get into the house and we can, make our score. And she's like, I don't know about that. He's like, look, it's a easy way to get in. And she's like, okay, fine. I'm like, Veronica gonna fuck your man, bitch. And then on top of it, you're gonna get blown to bits. And she's gonna have your man all to her damn self. And I can definitely see it playing out like that. So, next thing you know, he takes off his shirt. Baby got a nice body too. And they both get it in. Then the last scene, we got Candace and Benny. Candace is packing her things. Candace is like, about Hannah, that man, mom is really upset. And here it is, we were getting on good terms, and now we're back to where we were. And then Benny don't give a shit. Benny was like, hey, you did the right thing. You kept that money. And she's like, but I almost didn't keep the money. And he's like, yeah, then you would have regretted it if you didn't. I'm like, Benny, you are so fucking stupid, and you are going to reap everything that you're sowing. Everything that your mother has been telling you, that shit is going to play out, because your life is about to get turned upside down now that you got that $1 million, and now you up here spending it and, just being careless with your shit. So while Candace is packing, Benny's on the laptop looking up Derek, and I'm like, why are you looking up Derek, bro? He's like, yeah, because, mom ain't, all of a sudden do stop coming around. I need to find out what's going on. And then Candace is like, look, you need to leave this alone. And then he finds out, oh, I found him. It said that he's been in jail. And didn't mom say that the guy that raped her had a lion tattoo? And then all of a sudden you see damn Benny's face gets all mad and frowned up. And that's where it ended. But I'm like, But you're going to be even more shocked when you find out the truth about your daddy, Benny. How your father tried to pull you off of life support because he wanted your kidneys and even had your mother arrested. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it seemed to me that, yeah, Hannah just chose two bad, bad men, and those seeds she had with them two, they take over, they take after their fathers. You know, Candace takes after Derek, and Benny definitely takes after Tony because Benny's a selfish asshole just like his father. So that's what I have, y'all. If I missed anything, put it down in the comments. The Have and the Have-Nots will be back in the fall, but it may be postponed due to the outbreak of COVID-19. Tyler Perry has shut down his studios, and he pretty much says that, you know, this too shall pass, and, you know, I'm definitely behind him 100%. This process will pass, and things will get back to normal, but in the meantime, you know, keep the faith, you know, stay close to your family, and, you know, make sure that you take care of yourself and each other. So with that, until next time, everybody, take care.